Race 3 out of the KBRC is the Kalgoorlie Paint Centre Handicap over the staying journey, the 2200 metres. The first horse we'll preview is My Boy Eddie for Peter Fernie and Chris Parnham.
Well, it's been a fair while between drinks, Lockie, 507 days, but he's done a lot of racing and better quality races than what he sees here. The way that he's been hitting the line suggests that maybe he's just looking for these staying trips, and I would be shocked if he wasn't Crashane Warren's pick of the yard.
Couldn't agree more. The 2 is Pray With You for Ricky Brown and Michael Poy.
Backing up off 3 days, beaten 6.5 by Red Cadillac. Drops 1.5 kilos off that, and well, we never know, later on we might see Red Cadillac go back-to-back off that 3-day backup.
The 3, Deal Red for Helen Harding and Matty Derrick claiming 2.
Very similar race to this 3 starts ago. Led from barrier number 1, was too strong for Laughing Buddha, who was $1.35 in that field. 2 starts after that have been over a mile and then 1,760 metres. I thought here the Deal Red could get away with it out in front.
The 4, Lautrere for Catherine Godden and Sean McGrady.
Certainly brings alternate form. 5 starts ago, Roban Cup. 3 starts ago, Junction Cup. 2 starts ago, Carnarvon Cup. Last start, Mount Magnet Cup. Now here on the grass at Kalgoorlie.
The 5 is It's a Lance for Peter Fernie and Braden Garth.
I thought this horse was the forgotten runner of the field. Goes around a $9, $10 quote here. 54.5 after Braden Garth's claim. Been finishing off really well.
The 6 is Colchino, Felicity Forbes, Ives Trains, and Peter Nucky replaces Sean O'Donnell.
Who here today could probably try and find the front. I thought that in the end they may well hand up Deal Red, get that lovely run in the back of the speed.
The 7 is Thinking Game for Dan and Ben Pearce. Clinch on some Porter rides.
Won a maiden handicap 2 starts ago at Belmont Park, but it's always worth remembering that's a 2J meeting, and then came here to a Class 2 at Kalgoorlie, beaten 12.5 on Wednesday.
The 8, Bentley's Brother for Helen Harding and Keshaw Duran.
Go back 3 starts ago, was only beaten 3 lengths by Deal Red, who he meets here 1.5 kilos better at the weights, draws the inside gate, can box seat.
And 9, Grace De Roi for Trevor Tasker and Joseph Azzopardi.
Popping this mare on top here, Lockie. I thought her run 2 starts ago was very, very good. Then a fortnight later or 10 days later was extremely good here on Hannan's Handicap Day. Backing up off 3 days, Joey Azzopardi going on. I thought that she was probably here in a very winnable race.
Looking at this market, there's been some really interesting fluctuations. My Boy Eddie, $4.20 into $2.40, and there's been a fluck in between then as well. Pray With You, $7.50 into $5. Deal Red, 7 out to $12. Lautrere, 15 into $13. It's a Lance, $4.40 out to $9.50. And Colchino, there's been a little bit of chatter about this horse, 26 into $10 for Felicity Forbes Eyes and Peter Nucky. How did you order the 4?
Well, I thought that the opening price, My Boy Eddie, was a little bit short, $2.30. I thought the middle price at $4.60 was too long, and I think that middle price now of, say, $2.50 is about right. But I actually went here with Grace De Roi, 9 on top from 1 My Boy Eddie, 5 It's a Lance, 4 Lautrere. Look, these races on Cup Day, the 2200 graduations, can be won by absolute blowouts. I know here 12 months ago, Bailey's won at 50 to 1, hasn't absolutely fired a shot since, so it can be very, very tricky. 9-1-5-4.
9, Grace De Roi on top for Scott at an each way quote. Still 4 minutes of betting time remaining, so make sure you get your bets on. And our caller, Darren McCauley, will be with you shortly.
Runners at the gates here, race number 3. The Hill Stakes from Rose Hill is coming up. They're running very late. They will start to load the field in for the third in a couple of moments. These runners will start to move in at any moment for the third here on the card. Rider of Bentley's brother sitting up inside of the structure at the moment. Latrier, Pray With You, My Boy Eddie, and Colchino. Thinking Game, It's a Lance, Grace De Roi behind the line, and they'll have them fairly soon. Start loading in. Hill Stakes well and truly underway now in Sydney. Now Colchino's in Thinking Game, Latrier, Bentley's brother, Pray With You, and My Boy Eddie. 240, My Boy Eddie will step favourite in the third. So It's a Lance, Deal Red, Grace De Roi to come in. Lights are on. Red light flashing. Last to move forward, Deal Red. So My Boy Eddie, who's drawn the outside of the field, jumps favourite, hoping to end a real drought from the winner's circle. They stand nicely. Set for action. Oh, they're off. It's a Lance stood there in the gates and missed it by about 3. First to go, Deal Red, and hightailed straight to the front. Beating out Bentley's brother. Colchino's going to press on and be right over the pace as they drop the anchor here, going by the judge. Behind them, Latrier. Pray With You pushing up on the inside, 3 deep. Outside of hindquarters there, Thinking Game. Grace De Roi is in the middle. My Boy Eddie coming over, but wide, leaving the home straight, and after stepping away last of all, It's a Lance brings up the tail end of the field. Over in the direction of the 1600 they head, and Thinking Game, given a bit of leather now, races to the lead. So Thinking Game takes over now as they work up the western side of the track. A length and a half to Colchino. Deal Red third, a length and a half to Latrier. Bentley's brother fifth, the rails a length away, then Grace De Roi. Pray With You is next on the inside of the favourite as they work up now to the 1400 turn. My Boy Eddie and the tail ender, It's a Lance, as they sweep over now into the back straight. They've got 1250 left to go. Thinking Game is making play for Johnston Porter. Out by a length to Colchino. Then on the rails to Deal Red. Red. Latrere enjoying a great run up fourth. Over on the inside, just going a bit keenly, Bentley's Brother in front of the mare, Grace De Roi. Then Pray With You, My Boy Eddie, saved up near the back of the field, 900 from home. And Still It's a Lance brings up the rear of proceedings as they go towards the Charles Street side. They leave the back to the top of the course here at the 800 mark. Thinking Game, 3/4 to Colchino. Deal Red without too many changes. Latrere. There's the run coming now from the little mare, Grace De Roi. She's quickly around the outside, rushing forward. My Boy Eddie found her back. They were followed further back with Pray With You. Bentley's Brother dropping out. It's a Lance looked an absolute spent commodity. 450 left to go. Thinking Game ridden desperately, about to be joined by Colchino and Grace De Roi. Colchino, Grace De Roi go up, hit the front together. My Boy Eddie behind them. Pray With You trying to bullock his way out behind them. Then Bentley's Brother further back at the 150. Grace De Roi's a length clear from My Boy Eddie. Grace De Roi, My Boy Eddie and Bentley's Brother coming now at the last shot, but Grace De Roi will hold them all and the mare wins it. Grace De Roi beat Bentley's Brother. My Boy Eddie third. Pray With You was fourth. Behind them, Latrere and Colchino. It's a Lance got past a couple of the stragglers, including Thinking Game and Deal Red, who rounded them all up at the tail end. Grace De Roi, number 9. Joseph Azzopardi beats Bentley's Brother, Kes Duran. Interim placings, race number 3 here from Kalgoorlie, 9, 8, 1 and 2. 9, 8, 1 and 2, Grace De Roi backs up from Wednesday where she put the writing on the wall, charging home to finish 4th, went to the 2,200 this afternoon, taking off, getting around the field and strong at the end in 2:19.56, and she's won by a length second and third. For Vicky, Renee Durant, Ms. E. Bailey, Mrs. R. Morrissey, also Mrs. Amanda Millington, the White Diamond Racing, and Ms. Carol Adams, trained by Trevor Tasker here in Kalgoorlie and ridden by Joseph Azzopardi. Smokin' Joe gets a home from Bentley's Brother by Oratorio from JL Star, trained by Helen Harding and ridden by Keshaw Duran. My Boy Eddie third, a Blackfriars gelding out of Louisiana Blues, prepared by Peter Fernie and written by Chris Parnham. 36.02 is the sectional, 36.02. The numbers are 9, 8, 1 and 2 here after race number 3. Race 4, the CD Dodd Handicap, will be next, over 1,600 at 153. No changes to come there as Lockie Taylor now joins us down in the yard. And a great effort here by the mare. She certainly caught the eye on Wednesday. Trevor Tasker would have no doubt been quietly confident that with her previous effort in a race over a similar journey at Ascot back last year, she'd be very hard to beat this afternoon, and she hasn't disappointed, Lockie.
You're certainly right, Darren. Grace De Roi off the 3-day turnaround off Wednesday afternoon. Trevor Tasker joins me now. Trev, you couldn't miss that run on Wednesday afternoon. I'm sure you had an absolute grin from ear to ear after that effort.
Yeah, well, the last 2 runs have been pretty good. She's come from a long way back. And Jade got off the other day and said that if she'd got a barrier, we would have been in the finish. We had to drop out last. But when she asked her to go down the straight, she really flew. So very happy I was.
She hit the line well. Not only did she hit the line well, but she was strong through the line as well. But it's still a big effort, 16 up to 2,200 metres for the mare. Yeah, well, the start before was 1760, so she'd had the miles in the legs, and she's a bit of a gross mare. She's not a lightly framed mare. That's why she could back up today. So coming in today, I'm really confident. The run throughout, Joseph Azzopardi gave the mare a lovely ride. I'm sure you were oozing with confidence in the run. Well, we discussed beforehand we'd be about 5, running 5th to 6th, one off the fence. He done that, and he had a handful of horse at about the 600, so he said, let's go. Yeah. And it worked out perfectly. To finish the day, Passion Prince counter drive. Can we finish the day with an each way winner? I think counter drive each way all day will go all right, as long as it doesn't get into any trouble, which it's been doing lately. So we'll be in the moving line somewhere. Well, you have a habit of training each way winners when I'm here in Kalgoorlie, so hopefully counter drive can win near on 30-1. Well done, Trev. Got you. Thank you very much. There's Trevor Tasker after the win of Grace De Roi, taking out the Kalgoorlie Paint Centre Handicap. The numbers were 9, 8, 1 and 2.